Well, today we're going to start our very challenging project. We're going to remodel a kitchen. In fact, we're going to make it much larger. This is a small galley kitchen, so we certainly have some issues. In fact, one of the things we're going to do is remove this wall. We're going to create a large modern kitchen. Joining us will be Mike Tarvin of Tarvin Plumbing. All right, this is the wall that was on the other side of the kitchen, the small galley kitchen. And Mike, this is the wall that you're going to remove so that we can incorporate all this empty space as part of the new kitchen, correct?
Yeah, well, we don't have enough space over in the galley kitchen,
For sure.
You've seen already, and the wall is a non-load-bearing partition wall in between, so
this whole thing's going.
We're going to tear it out of there, and that'll give us the space that we need to do the kitchen that we want to.
That's why we got our blue jeans on. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's go back to this wall. Of course, all this paneling that you see throughout this room, all going to be removed.
Right.
But as you started working, you found brick.
Yeah. This we kind of figured out that this was the original outside wall of the building before this part of the building was built on. So there was plaster, furring strips, paneling, and that looks like that wall goes all the way across this end of the kitchen. So we're going to take everything back all the way to the brick, leave the exposed wall in the kitchen, or at least that's the plan at this point.
You're going to try and incorporate this in our new kitchen,
exactly.
and very good. How about the radiator? Staying?
Radiator, we're not sure about yet.
Okay.
The radiator, we've got steam heat in the building. The radiator may end up staying exactly where it's at. It's possible that we may relocate it to somewhere else, or we may even try to change it to a kick space type heater that would be underneath and come on with a blower. So I'm
now
not
you
sure
know
what we're
why
gonna
we
do
got
yet.
Mike Tarvin from Tarvin Plumbing, because not only do they do plumbing and kitchen remodeling, but you do light construction work, and this might even be a little heavy construction work. Take a look at this window here. It's great for a bedroom or an office, really not practical for a kitchen.
Right, well, we've kind of got the same situation with the windows as we do with the wall. A lot of times we try and design around the windows and doorways where they exist because it's more expensive to change them. Sure. This application, we've got a fairly easy changeover on the outside, so we're going to take at least 2 of the windows and maybe 3, raise them up to about 42 inches so we've got room to get uninterrupted counter space underneath it.
Very neat, and of course all that paneling goes to, that'll be
that
drywall then.
Gone. Right, we're going to take that out all the way to the studs, and we'll actually probably do plaster with a cowcoat finish over the top of the walls, as well as
cool.
maybe the ceiling too.
Man, you got it going on. Now this ceiling, speaking of ceiling, the ceiling's got to go. I know that. That's got to go.
Yes, that ceiling's going to go out. There's an original plastered ceiling about 6 to 8 inches above that. We'll have a finished ceiling height of about 102 inches when we're done. We'll probably take the plaster out, leave the wood lath, again, put a plasterboard and a cowcoat finish over it.
Carpeting's got to go.
Carpeting's got to go, and underneath the carpeting is another challenge, and that's a concrete slab. As opposed to being a traditional wood subfloor, we've got concrete underneath there, so we're probably going to do a ceramic tile floor over the top of that and probably incorporate some heated mats in there that may come into the steam radiator.
Yeah, boy, that'll be a comfortable kitchen.
Yeah, it should be.
Now, of course, you do all different types of kitchen remodeling and have for years. Tell me about some of the kitchens you've tackled.
Well, we've done kitchens and bathrooms of all different types, from budget kitchens in smaller houses all the way to kind of grandiose ideas where we've got a lot of room to spread out, and we can do some things with countertops, some things that pick up the uniqueness of the house, depending on whether there's resale or whether we're going with something that you're going to use for the next 30 years.
Well, this is going to be a great project. Let's get to sledgehammers. Let's get rid of that wall.
Okay, sounds great.
Well, with me is Mike Tarvin and Tarvin Plumbing, and we're in the middle of our kitchen remodeling project. If you remember when we started this project, there was actually a wall right here, and it was a 2x4 studded wall. There was a little galley kitchen on the other side of the wall. In fact, I think that's where the kitchen sink was.
Yeah, the kitchen sink was right there.
All right. Now, I remember over here, there were 2 old windows. There was an old drop ceiling. There was carpet on the floor. And this is why we have a professional, Mike Tarvin, Tarvin Plumbing. Mike, it looks like you've been awfully busy here.
Busy, and it was a lot of fun tearing it all out.
It always is. But putting it together, that's where the skill comes in. Seriously, I know.
Hopefully.
We can all tear things down, but putting it together, that certainly is the key. The reason we were doing this project was to take this small galley kitchen, you may have one like that at your home, and giving it a large, nice beautiful kitchen, and we're about halfway in the middle of our project right now. Let's talk about the wall. How you can tear it down? You can tear down walls?
It was a non-load-bearing wall.
Okay.
So in certain instances, that's something that can be easily removed. I mean, if you're ever in doubt, it's best to check with a professional. Sometimes if it's a load-bearing wall, then that's a definite no-no or a lot more work. But there's oftentimes cases where it can be removed without a problem.
And then you incorporated a new window for a little more light, a little more ambiance, if you will.
Yeah, these 2 windows out and 1 new window in, so it gives us a nice center line for our new kitchen sink, which will be there.
You know, that's another thing with dealing with a professional. Really, you have a lot of experience of, what's available in kitchens and what people are looking for. Mm-hmm. And then your expertise allows you to help incorporate that into their home. Now, one thing I know people are not incorporating in their home is shag-type carpeting. And
no more shags, right?
That's what was on the floor here. So you eliminated that.
Correct.
And what'd you find underneath?
Found an old spruce wood floor underneath all of that. And so that gave us a good underlayment, good subfloor to put our concrete board over for our future tile.
So if you recall, we were actually going to use ceramic tile, and we'll show you what we've chose there. But one thing, this brick wall, by the way, just looks awesome.
Isn't that beautiful?
And you've incorporated that into our kitchen.
Yeah, that's our little hidden treasure. If you remember, we cut a little hole in the paneling and we could see that there was brick behind part of it. Weren't sure if it was there everywhere, so we exposed it, and it's kind of got the nice old hammered, chiseled look in the brick, and so we're just going to leave that and incorporate it into the kitchen.
Well, it looks awesome. Now, if memory serves me correct, there was a radiator here?
That's correct. And the radiator was over here against the brick wall. Since we like the brick wall, we kind of relocated the radiator over this direction. It's a steam radiator, so it wasn't really too big of a deal just to change the pipe down in the basement to relocate it.
All right, let's take a walk over here. By the way, this window is the same size. We kept this window, right?
Yeah, kept the window. There was really no reason to change it. It wasn't in an area where it interfered with the cabinets or anything, so it's just one little area to keep the cost trimmed down a little bit and no reason to change it.
Sure. Well, this is the fun part. We got to start putting it back together.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed outside this gorgeous tile is you have a mat. This is for heated flooring?
Yeah, this is a heated floor mat made by New Heat, and this basically goes underneath the ceramic tile in the thin set over the concrete board, operated by a programmable thermostat. So you can set the time of day, set the temperature, and can use it as an ambient heat source as well as keeping the floor nice and warm in the winter.
So this will add additional heat economically.
Yeah, well, especially from the fact that you can program it and only turn the heat on when you want it, as opposed to paying for it being on all the time.
I do like that a lot. Are you seeing more and more people with the ceramic tile talk about a heated floor?
Yeah, I think that the heated floor is something that's catching on in popularity a lot. It's not inexpensive, but at the same time, for the bonus that you get out of it, I think it's a real good feature.
Well, you save money on the window. What the heck? Tell me about the floor we picked out here.
This is a chiseled travertine from Florida Tile. We've got random sizes that's going to incorporate those random sizes into a pattern.
Yeah, I really like the different sizes and the different colors. It'll give us a very natural feel. Of course, if you need help with your plumbing project, or even more importantly, your remodeling project, Mike Tarvin Plumbing, he can help you out with it. I can't wait, because the next part of our project, and you'll be with us, is installing all the kitchen cabinets. Mike, thanks.